Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for watching today's session on LinkedIn. My name is Shannon Amaral. I'm the Career Services Program Specialist here at Fanshawe College. You can find us in D Block D1063. In today's session, we're going to provide you the guide to LinkedIn. So what we're going to cover is your profile, crafting the perfect LinkedIn profile with its 6 must-have profile sections. We're going to talk about using LinkedIn and how you can use LinkedIn on a regular basis. And lastly, researching. LinkedIn is a powerful tool to research jobs, companies, interviewers, recruiters, and even hiring managers. A LinkedIn profile is a great way for you to let people know who you are, what you stand for, what you're interested in. Your profile is basically your personal storyboard where people can find you, stay updated on your activity. So make sure your profile is complete and it represents you. So let's say, what's the difference between Facebook and LinkedIn? Facebook showcases your personal life, who you hang out with, what you're doing on the weekends. LinkedIn shows who you are as a professional, who you are in your working environment. That can include school, internships, and even a job. You build and maintain relationships with different types of people depending on the platform. So with your profile sections, we're going to talk about the 6 must-have profile sections, 1 being photo and headline, 2 being your summary, which is about you, 3 being experience, 4 education, 5 volunteer experience, and 6 skills and endorsements. So tip number 1, upload an appropriate photo where you make your first impression. So you can see here, profiles with photos are 21 times more views on average. So it's so important to include a photo of yourself. So photos are a must on your LinkedIn profile. Research shows that profiles with photos are 7 times more likely to be viewed by potential connections than those with no photo. The image, represents you in a photo can communicate your credibility to the rest of your profile. You can use a professional headshot if possible, but you don't have to have a professional photo. So if you have someone that can take a professional photo, great. If not, a lot of our personal cell phones can take amazing photos and have amazing technology that you can filter through some of your photos. So if you are going to take your photo yourself, just make sure that you are alone, it's from the shoulders up, and that you're smiling, and you should always have a neutral background. Customizing your background image. So this is your chance where you can make that excellent first impression. So unlike your profile picture, which is usually kept professional, the banner image lets you showcase more of your personality. So your original background is going to be the one that's shown above here in the yellow-orange border. So automatically that is defaulted. And you can see the photo below is one that we have customized. So the fact that most people don't bother changing their default LinkedIn background image, you can really make it work to your advantage. That LinkedIn background can say 1,000 words about you. You can also customize your background using Canva. I'm sure many of you have heard of Canva, C-A-N-V-A. It's a free design program. Canva helps you to build a professional and high quality LinkedIn background as easy as 3 steps. So feel free to access Canva to see what you have in terms of selections. But for your background image, there's just a couple here that are on the screen. I'm not going to read them all, but I'll just list a few. You can use something that's abstract, which is shown here. Some of you might use a personal photo that allows you to showcase your hobbies and interests. Some of you may use a quote that inspires you. Somebody could use a quote of, if you're in the trades industry, just to name a few. The other thing we want to talk about is customizing your LinkedIn URL. So just make sure that if you are customizing your LinkedIn URL, it will help members to find, members and recruiters to identify your profile a little bit easier. So to customize your profile, you're going to have to, it's basically done on a first come, first serve basis. You can only create 1 custom URL. It can be anywhere from 300 to 100 characters in length. You don't want to be using spaces, symbols, or any special characters as well, but you can do so by just clicking at the top where it says edit your custom URL. Another great feature with LinkedIn is if you have the LinkedIn mobile app on your cell phone, if you have that downloaded on your phone, you can create a custom QR code, which is a great thing that you can do so for networking. To create your custom QR code, you'll notice here that there is 4 icons to the right of the search bar. So right next to your photo on your mobile device, next to the search engine, you'll see the 4 icons. And that's your gateway to finding your LinkedIn QR code. So once you click on that, this is what you're going to see below. It's going to customize a photo, your name, and your headline. And that is something that you can use if you are going to a networking event. It's just a great, easy way for someone to connect with you. Personalizing your profile headline. So by default, LinkedIn pulls the most recent job title and company from your work experience section. So although this is good, it's not the best use of the 220 characters that you have available. If you want recruiters to look you up on your LinkedIn profile, you need to intentionally craft the best LinkedIn headline so that you appear in their searches. So one great way you might start is you might start off by talking about your current role, your area of study, your top skills or areas of expertise, your accomplishments, your career goal, and even your industry of interest. Adding keywords. So it's so important that you have words that you can use in your profile to help identify yourself, your skills, and the jobs you're interested in. You can use keywords everywhere in your LinkedIn profile, but there are 2 main focus areas that should always include these keywords, and that's going to be in your summary section and in your experience section. So we talk about, using keywords. You want to talk about different levels of keywords. You want to make sure you have your hard skills and your soft skills. And you'll see here shown on the screen here, we have some hard skills listed in red, and then we have our soft skills listed in blue. So just make sure that you are using a variety of hard and soft skills. Research LinkedIn for people with similar job titles or similar industries, so you can find what their profiles are and see what type of keywords they've used as well, and maybe consider using them in some of your profiles too. Tip number 2 is add a summary to the About section. So with your About section, even though you've uploaded a great, profile photo, you've customized your LinkedIn headline, you've listed all your work and education history, leaving the summary section is a huge missed opportunity. When it comes to the most important part of your LinkedIn profile, those details matter. There are some helpful tips we can provide to you. Keep in mind when you're crafting your summary, you can also access a whole LinkedIn booklet by going onto your FOL account, resources, career co-op, and CCR, and link to the toolkit. You will see a whole LinkedIn toolkit booklet that walks you through every single section within the LinkedIn profile that gives you several other examples to use as well. With your LinkedIn summary section, you always want to make sure it includes work experience, accomplishments, awards. You're always writing in the first person. And just remember that the first 3 lines are the most important. And in terms of length, you want to look at between 200 and 300 words. So with your About section, this is where you want to tell your audience what you do, what you know, how you can help. You also want to make sure you showcase your unique skills in this section to stand out from other candidates and explain why you would be that best perfect match for that job opening. We kind of like to consider our summary section as doing our elevator pitch. So with that being said, you can see on the screen here, I won't read it out for you today, but you'll have this with today's recording to be able to view this on an example of a summary section, but please feel free to also reference the LinkedIn booklet that's available in the toolkit as well. So tip number 3 is your work experience. You want to show what you have achieved. So profiles with 2 or more positions are up to 36 times more likely to be found by recruiters. It's so essential to list all your past experience. Let's say you've graduated from a college and you landed your first job, or maybe you completed your co-op or a placement. So when you add more position, it means more recruiters, hiring managers, colleagues, mentors are looking at your profile. With each view, that means more potential new opportunities, such as new connections, new partnerships, and maybe even new speaking opportunities. Let's say, for example, perhaps you recently moved to a new role within your team, within your current company. Update your current position to reflect that new role. You always want to make sure you keep your current position up to date on your profile. Making a simple update like this can significantly help you grow your community on LinkedIn. And just remember, by simply adding an updated version to your current position on LinkedIn can lead up to 10 times more messages that create opportunities for you. Now that you know the importance of updating your current work experience on LinkedIn, remember your LinkedIn profile is your moment to shine and bring your professional story to life. This isn't just your resume, so it shouldn't read like one. Use short, concise paragraphs in a story format and only bring in bullet points when you emphasize your key skills, metrics, and impact. Everyone's got a story to tell, so use your work experience section so that you can lean on your own story. Speak about your experiences while also showcasing how you drive results, impact, and change. So step number 4 is your education, which is the foundation to your career. You can see here that members who list a school get 10 times more view on average. So it's so important to make sure you list all your information. It's common for companies to recruit from certain schools, so this is key. Your education section says a lot about you, especially to those potential employers and your former classmates who are looking to reconnect with you. If you have a relevant coursework, or if you have a strong GPA, grade point average, add it to show that you've worked hard for it. Add any awards or honors you received from your school, your college in your description. Add your skills, your projects, your summaries, and any additional information items that you can optimize. These pieces demonstrate to recruiters that you are truly a high qualified candidate. You want to make sure you're always keeping it professional within your schools, colleges, universities, which really matters and relates to your profession. You can even enter in any extracurricular activities that you've participated in, and the difference between your resume, which is always kept professional, your LinkedIn profile is also professional, but you get to add things like photos and video links and add, certain media content that really gets, allowing you to showcase your proud moments. So take advantage of that. Tip number 5 is volunteer experience. And the first thing I want to note is what's listed at the top of the screen. 41% of hiring managers consider volunteer experience equally as valuable as paid work experience. So adding causes and volunteer experience is a great way to round out your professional identity. Almost half of the hiring managers say they view volunteer experience as equivalent to formal work experience. So adding volunteer experience to your profile helps you round out your professional story and showcase what you're passionate about outside of work. Even if your volunteer experience doesn't directly relate to your profession, a hiring manager will learn a lot about you and your work ethic through that. Volunteer experience can also help you beef up on your LinkedIn profile if you're new to a workplace or changing careers. It can even give you an opportunity to talk about your transferable skills that can help hiring managers locate your profile using the LinkedIn search function. And just remember, transferable skills are the skills that you can pick up in one employment setting and that you can seamlessly transfer that to the next job. They aren't industry specific. You use many transferable skills, and we can mention a few like writing, communication, problem-solving skills in every job, every day. So just talk about your transferable skills on your profile. Tip number 6 is skills and endorsements. As you can see here, where you can select your skills and endorsements, you can select that from the add profile section and selecting skills. If you list about 5 or more skills, you'll get about 17 more profile views, and that's so important to highlight. The number of skills is obviously going to be unique to each one of us. You want to make sure you include a mix of high level and niche skills. And just remember, when you're adding skills to your profile, this allows you to highlight your abilities, your strengths, and your expertise, and to build credibility amongst your peers, your colleagues, managers, and even those recruiters. When you're adding these skills to your profile, make sure you add, again, we mentioned this earlier, a broad range of skills, your hard skills and your soft skills that ultimately support your personal brand. LinkedIn will categorize your skills into expertise areas based on your industry knowledge, tools and technology, interpersonal skills, languages, and other skills you have. You can add a maximum of 50 skills to your profile that represent you. So start building credibility by adding at least 5 or more skills that represent the amazing professional that you are. And, include a minimum of 5 skills, what you've learned in class. It can be from a job, it can be from a volunteering opportunity, and always include, particular keywords as well that are both hard and soft skills. So you can see here, we've listed as a skill, speaking Mandarin, a certain programming that you might be familiar with. Just remember that the skills are all self-selected. So you are the one that selects your skills. The other thing we want to know is your top 3 skills will show on your profile. So that's another great thing to mention as well. Endorsements. We just want to talk a little bit about an endorsement. So an endorsement is basically a particular skill that a colleague or friend can back you on. So just remember that 5 or more skills listed can get you 27 times more in searches. So you can see her shown on the screen. We have skills, we have career assessment that has been endorsed by a couple of my colleagues. You can see your cover letters. It's been endorsed by so many individuals. Resume writing, just to name a few. Once you add a skill to your profile, that skill can be endorsed by your professional community. Keep in mind that only first-degree connections can endorse your skill. So why does endorsement matter to you? Basically, when a connection endorses you for a skill, it ultimately strengthens your profile and increases the likelihood that you'll be discovered for opportunities related to that particular skill. On LinkedIn, just remember that you have full control over all your skills and endorsements within your profile. So go ahead and check your endorsement setting to make sure that you have adjusted it to your liking. Recommendation is another thing we want to talk about. You can do so by going into Add to Profile and clicking Add Recommendations. What you see on the screen here is just an example of asking for a LinkedIn recommendation. Please refer to the LinkedIn booklet that's available in the toolkit through your FOL account as well. But recruiters and hiring managers often scroll down through someone's LinkedIn recommendations when they're considering whether or not to interview or hire an individual. So with these little blurbs, they can ultimately be an important or as a strong resume, as a well-written cover letter. They do provide additional intel about a person's background or strengths. So if you do, or if you can have a recommendation, that would be an amazing thing to add to your LinkedIn profile. If you're somebody new to LinkedIn, I would say just concentrate on your other profile sections, and you could always come back and revisit this section as well. But having this recommendation could mean the difference in getting a call or an opportunity. A profile with a recommendation could be seen as more insightful and can serve as even as like a tiebreaker between 2 equal candidates. So having recommendations could mean the difference in getting a call for an opportunity or not. And just remember that a well-written LinkedIn recommendation will vouch for your skills, letting potential employers better understand what it is that you can bring to the table. So when it comes to building your professional network, there's always an invitation involved. And we always encourage that you should never just connect with someone. You should always write a few words to invite someone to connect. And you can see here just on the screen here is just an example. So just try to be mindful when you are wanting to connect with an individual. Always try to write a customized invitation. Just really briefly here, we're just going to show the power of networking. So we're going to talk just a little bit about first degree, second degree, and third degree. So with your first degree, what it means is people who are directly connected because you have accepted their invitation to connect, or you have accepted their invitation. You're going to see a first degree icon next to their name in the search results and on their profile. You can contact them by sending a message on LinkedIn. With second degree connections, it's people who are connected to your first degree connections. You're going to see a second degree icon next to their name in the search results on their profile. You can contact them by mail or through an introduction. And lastly, with your third degree connections, it's people who are connected to your second degree connections. You're going to see a third degree icon next to their name in the search results on their profile, and you can contact them as well by email or through an introduction. So just wanted to keep you knowing that if you happen to see first, second, and third. So just a little quiz here. You are blank times more likely to be viewed if you have a professional photo. The answer is 21, so it's B. So statistics show that LinkedIn profiles with a photo get far more engagement, receiving 20 times more profile views and 9 times more connection requests. Profile pictures on LinkedIn represent more than you and how you look. It's basically a snapshot of your personality, your brand image, and so much more. So the next few slides, we're just going to touch on building your LinkedIn network. So the benefits of networking, building new opportunities. So this is one everyone knows, that there's always more opportunities when you know more people. This can be anything such as university jobs, universities, jobs, businesses. As you network and build your level of rapport with people, there's a good chance that they'll remember you in the future when an opportunity represents itself. The other thing we want to talk about is helping others with connections. So not only is networking can aid you with your goals, but you can also help others achieving their goals as well. So remember, you may know some connections that you can aid someone that's currently looking for some help. So it's kind of like a two-way street. And we also want to talk about building long-term relationships, and ultimately your communication style improves. So the more and more you network, the better you learn how to communicate with people. You realize that there are several different personalities and backgrounds, which means you may have to communicate differently with different people. You'll improve on your speaking and getting to know others. You'll improve on relating to people and building a better level of rapport with others. The next, we're just going to talk about ways that you can find contacts for networking. So number one is contact people you already know, such as your coworkers, your ex-employees, your customers, your college peers, and others. Number two, LinkedIn offers people you may know. Every time you connect with someone, you can also find it under My Network tab. Number three, you want to make sure that you're being active on LinkedIn groups. Find groups according to your interest and engage with those members. And number four, you want to explore LinkedIn events. Similar to the People You May Know section, LinkedIn will also suggest events. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching today's session on LinkedIn. Just remember that you can access a full booklet on LinkedIn by visiting your FOL page, going through resources, career co-op, and CCR, and accessing that information through your toolkit. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.